Hello, how you doing? We're back. Welcome to English Premier League Weekly. Alongside me today to dissect and deconstruct a day of detrimental defending and delectable dribbling. It is, of course, the deadly duo, Damien Duff and Dion Dublin. Just kidding. It's obviously Mus and Roz. How you doing, guys? Mus, how have you been?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
Did you enjoy it? Good transfer window. Managed to keep hold of you, didn't we?
Yeah. That bloody gentleman's agreement, so I couldn't go anywhere. So here I am.
Yeah, I heard AFTV were in for you, trying to replace DT, but yeah, no. I guess you're not really controversial enough for them anyway. But Roz, did you enjoy your break?
Yeah, no, it was. I feel a bit deprived of football, to be honest. There's nothing happening this summer whatsoever. I had to wait a whole 7 days or something for the Olympics starting and the championship season. So yeah, but you do sort of miss it. Yeah, I miss the Premier League. It's nothing like the Premier League. So
that is so true. The Premier League is completely unique. It's why we love it. It's why we do this pod. As always, if you're watching, we want to know what you think. So get involved. Drop us a message in the comments. You can comment live and we will respond live, or you can comment post-game and we will respond to that as well. Okay, one more thing. Be like Andrew and Jack. They are our Patreon subscribers. You can support us. Just head to patreon.com/Joe Carter EPLW. The link will be in the description as well. And you can support us for as little as £3 or £4 a month. And it really helps us go towards paying for our Zoom subscriptions and the amount of electricity we use and, various stuff, Mus's football shirt collection, Roz's Millwall season ticket. There's lots that needs to be paid for. And also, please consider subscribing to the channel and allowing notifications so you never miss a stream. Right, okay. Should we get into it, lads? Should we talk ball?
Let's do it.
Okay, right. First up, then we're going to go in chronological order. We're going to get it out of the way, lads. Brentford 2, Arsenal 0. Mus, I'll come to you as the Arsenal fan first. I'll let you both have a go at this one because Roz is going to give us a good old roasting. What went wrong for Arsenal and what went right for Brentford?
God, well, I feel like you should have gone to Roz first on this because he called it and he's probably seen a lot more of Brentford than I have. But I was looking forward to seeing them because I thought that they're a good footballing side that have been knocking on the door of the Premier League for a few years now, and they finally got their chance. I heard of Ivan Toney. I hadn't heard of Mbumo, but after Friday night, he's clearly one to watch, particularly from a fantasy football perspective. It was just same old Arsenal, really, kind of soft-centered, trying to play out from the back and not quite doing it right. Only a few bright sparks, and they were the same ones from last season. Saka when he came on, Emil Smith, the Croydon De Bruyne, sorry, been a long, and Kieran Tierney, really. But
when you said soft-centered, it made me think of a luxury chocolate that's been chucked in with some Quality Street. It's it's destined to fail. It's it's just going to get caved in by all the big chunky ones.
Yeah. We're basically like the bounty in the mix, right? Like if you put your hand in and take out Arsenal, you'll put them back in.
Hang on, what's wrong with you don't like bounties?
I'm indifferent, but I have tried hand out a box of celebrations, and I always get the bounties returned.
Roz, what's your favourite celebration? The chocolate.
I don't know. I like Tim Cahill's old boxing order flag. Yeah, classic.
Cool. You were definitely listening to what me and Mus were saying then.
No.
What went right for Brentford, Roz? What did they do well?
I think they were sort of like Arsenal's kryptonite. Everything we saw poor from Arsenal last season, which is sort of tried to play out from the back, but not actually having that cutting pass to break the press. Played right into Brentford's hands. They've got such a well-organised press. They have for a long time. I mean, as Mus said, they've been a very good football playing side in the Championship for a while now and sort of knocking on that door. Mbumo was sensational. He was, of course, part of the famous BMW forward line of Brentford, which was Saeed Benrahma, Mbeumo, and of course Ollie Watkins. One thing I would like to say about Brentford is they're a bit like Southampton used to be. Their recruitment is sensational. They'll lose stars like Benrahma to West Ham, Ollie Watkins to Villa for big money, and reinvest it in the right places. They reinvested the Watkins money with Ivan Toney. I thought he was sensational yesterday. But how bad were Arsenal? How bad were Arsenal? Mate.
The defending was tragic. I mean, especially from the second goal, the long throw. What did you call it, Roz? The ghost of Delap.
Yeah.
Haunting Arsenal again. Was it Ethan Pinnock?
Yeah.
Is that the new name that is like, going around Arsenal fans' heads now? And,
Centre half.
Yeah.
No, he didn't take the throw in. It was.
He got the assist, but I think it was a knock on, wasn't it?
He got the first one, the header to Sergi Canos, who was another one to watch for fantasy. Both him and Mbeumo are 5.5 each, I think. And
nice, good one for fantasy. We'll catch up on our fantasy teams a bit later as well. We've got our fantasy league for EPLW, and it is bursting at the seams. 36 participants in that league, and really and truly, lads, you two should be the top two in that table because you are the experts. So and me, I've just asked the questions. So it doesn't really matter where I place. Taking the pressure off early doors. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next game. Let's park Arsenal there because it's just cruel to carry on talking about that shocking performance. Lovely kit though. Oh my God, that kit took me back to my younger self. I've got the original blue zigzag sort of lightning strike kit from back in the day, and beautiful kit with the red socks as well. Nice.
Yeah. Nice touch. Very 90s.
Nice touch. You might see me wearing that kit. If things get a bit better. Anyway, next game we're going to talk about. I'm such a die-hard fan. Win or lose, I'll wear my shirt. No, I'm an Arsenal fan. Okay, Man United, Leeds United. Yesterday, 12:30. Roz has got a cheeky little grin on because, as a Millwall fan, he's not so much a fan of Leeds. And there was a certain song that came to mind, wasn't there, Roz, when Leeds were, conceded that fifth goal?
Yeah, you could say they were falling apart again. Certainly no joy in their division of. No, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Wow, that was very a good attempt. It's early days, we can't be straight off the bat with the puns. It's going to take a few weeks to get back into the season and stuff. Getting our flow.
Match fitness, mate. Match fitness.
But do you want to give us a little rendition of the song? How you would sing it if you were, say Millwall were beating Leeds 5-1 and you were at the Den. How would you be singing that song? Can you give us a little?
Yeah, go on. Leeds are falling apart again.
Love it. Let's talk about the game. A hat trick for Bruno Fernandes, 4 assists for Paul Pogba. Mus, what is it about Pogba? Since Solskjaer kind of invented McFred and allowed Pogba to push forward a bit further, he's been sensational. He finished off last season well. I didn't really turn up for France at the Euros, didn't really fancy it, except for one filthy goal. Fair enough. But he did. He wasn't running the show like he has been at United. Is it just that, or has he got a new lease of life? Is it because he's got last year of his contract, wants a new contract? What is his shop window? What is it, Mus?
Yeah, he's probably just seen the team that he'll be joining in the form of PSG, and he thinks, right, this is my season to prove that I should take Wijnaldum's place behind that filthy front line next season. But
front nine,
sorry, but yeah.
Is it goalkeeper, Pogba, 9 strikers? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, exactly. Like Donnarumma, Pogba, and then just everyone else.
Yeah.
But Solskjaer in the post-match interview said that he'd given him license to roam. So he said that he'd had a poor 45 minutes against Everton in the last pre-season game.
Mm.
But I think as you alluded to with McTominay and Fred in the pivot, he has less defensive responsibilities. And actually, the biggest thing that I took away from that game is I think three of Pogba's 4 assists were no-look passes.
Of course, that's what you picked up on.
Yeah, I got this flashback to Joe having a go at me for my 2 admittedly failed no-look shots when through on goal. But yeah, clearly worked.
Oh, yeah.
Goal, so.
I'm still annoyed about that. We drew that game because you did that.
I know.
Right? Unacceptable. No such thing as a friendly. So yeah, Paul Pogba, licensed to Rome. Yeah. Roz, what did you make of Bruno's contribution?
Oh, stunning. All his goals really. So the first one was a delightful touch. Maybe the keeper should do a little bit better. Kind of goes through him a bit, but brilliant touch from the ball from Pogba. The second one, thanks to goal line technology, was given, but absolutely sits the Leeds defender on his arse. Just with a lovely bit of skill there. And the finish on the third goal was just beastly. I've just actually got, I don't know if this is going to work, if you could see that. License to Rome from Pogba. That's his heat map.
There you go.
So you can see he's kind of starting on that left side. I think the injury to Rashford, or sorry, the surgery to Rashford and him being out, that was the one thing when, Solskjaer's got a decision to make there when Rashford's back, because it's where both players excel. But yeah, Pogba, Fernandes, Man United in general. I don't think we're talking enough about how bad Leeds were, though.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to Leeds in a sec. I just wanted to wrap up on Man United by saying my pick of the goals was actually the Greenwood goal. I just thought that ball from Pogba was inch perfect. It was unbelievable. And then Greenwood's finish was just out of this world. You know, we hear a lot about Greenwood, natural finisher, 2-footed, blah, blah, blah. But that was a real example of, is that his supposed weaker foot? He doesn't have a weak foot, does he?
He doesn't. As I keep saying, on FIFA, they got his foot wrong. That's how double-footed he is. A couple of years ago, they just gave him like 5-star weak foot rating or something, but I think they made him left-footed. I think he's actually right-footed, but he's just so double-footed. And he's the best finisher at the club, hands down. Just natural finisher. Great player.
See, I'd heard he marginally prefers his left foot, but I think it just goes to show like no one's quite sure.
Well, you don't really get them anymore, do you? You used to get in like the 70s and the 80s, players like sort of, is it Bremner or not Bremner? Who's the German who sort of liked to take penalties with one foot, corners with a different foot, cross with this foot? It's all about sort of placement.
Oh, yeah. I remember him. We talked about him before.
A German wing back.
Yeah.
Forget, it'll come to me. But
if you're watching and get in the comments, let us know, or just go on Wikipedia, Roz, while I ask Mus the next question. Mus, on to Leeds. Yeah. So, a pretty poor display defensively, but as we know with Bielsa and Leeds, defending is optional. The goal though, Luke Ayling, with an absolute screamer, contender for goal of the season potentially already.
We've seen some pretty spectacular goals already so far. I quite liked Fernandez's hat-trick goal where Lindelof kind of spun it in behind and he volleyed it in. But yeah, it was a great goal. I'm glad he didn't do the full hair out celebration. Because, by the end of the game, he would have been embarrassed once again. I think they missed Calvin Phillips.
Big time. And
it's interesting to see the contrast, because Man United had quite a few players who had a busy Euros, like Fernandes, Maguire, Pogba, but then people like even Luke Shaw, but then they had Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood, people who have a point to prove, who were left out, and that made for a great mix. But yeah, it didn't really work for Leeds. They missed Calvin Phillips, who was on the bench, I think, and but Bamford was anonymous. Rafinha looked decent. Rafinha and Rodrigo looked in the first half like they could pick up where they left off. But yeah, they kind of midway through the second half they just kind of melted away.
Yeah, absolutely. Roz, did you want to add anything quickly on Leeds before we move on?
Just that I don't think they've ever been good without Calvin Phillips, really. I don't know if they won a game without him last season, correct me if I'm wrong. But he's just such an integral part of that side. I had a great summer. Obviously, Scott McTominay had a very short summer. So good for him. And actually, John McGinn as well, the other Scottish Premier League player. So clearly bunch of energy there. But cool. I think Leeds were just poor.
Cool. Okay, let's move on then. Remember, if you're watching, you can get in the comments, give us your opinions. We'd love to share them. If you've got any questions for these two supposed experts as well, you could you can pop them in the comments, and we will get them to answer. Okay, we're Chelsea next. Chelsea Crystal Palace. Before the game, Chelsea obviously kind of tipped as favourites. You know, parading their European trophies around, and they just dominated Palace, didn't they? Let's be honest. It was always going to happen. But one thing that interested me was the Alonso free kick. Absolute beaut, wasn't it, Roz?
Gorgeous. Really, really good. Probably not the best goal of the game. Is that fair? I don't know. But yeah, brilliant free kick. And yeah, Chelsea were just dominant. I'm annoyed about Chelsea. I'll tell you why I'm annoyed about Chelsea. If you remember about 4 or 5 months ago, it's just after Tuchel came in, I picked them to win the title this season. I said, you know what, they could. Everyone will be looking at City, Liverpool's resurgence, Man United spending big. Chelsea could actually nab the title next season. Since then, they've won the Champions League. Jorginho was arguably player of the tournament in the Euros. Havertz was probably Germany's only good thing about the Euros, and they've bought Lukaku. So since then, I think Sky did a vote on who's going to win the league, and Chelsea were like only 2 points behind City, 2% behind City, and now my big like dark horse for the title just seems like a sort of obvious pick. But I did call it.
Yeah,
4 months ago.
Well, luckily for you, we've got footage with a timestamp on it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's like in that band before they go mainstream and then getting annoyed when everyone starts rocking all the merch and talking about it.
Or like discovering like a really nice sort of restaurant or a cocktail bar, and then 2 weeks later it getting found by like hipsters. It's like
They're the worst.
Can't go there anymore.
Okay, Mus, and the Alonso free kick, then Pulisic put one away, didn't he? Tuchel's a big fan of Pulisic.
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential. I don't think Chelsea have seen the best of him just yet, but he's probably going to benefit from the Ziyech injury. I think Ziyech was like the standout player in Chelsea's pre-season, and then dislocated a shoulder in the Super Cup game against Villarreal. But Pulisic loves playing against Crystal Palace. I think that's 5 goals he scored against them. He scored a hat-trick season 4 last against Crystal Palace. And then Trevor Chalobah was probably the kind of story of the game.
Absolutely.
Really emotional celebration, kind of falling to his knees in tears. He's 22 as well, and I think Ian Wright said on Match of the Day, he's played 108 games on loan before finally getting his Premier League debut for Chelsea. So yeah, I think, touching story. Very happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, Roz, wasn't it?
Yeah, really, really great. He's been a good sort of championship level defender, and the sort of Tuchel's got the system of 3 centre halves, where actually, he's done away with Tomori, which was an interesting decision, really, because he was probably higher rated than Chalobah. But actually, in sort of the whole Chelsea squad, what he's done is he's built a very sort of archetype Chelsea team. You look back at all the teams, all the Chelsea sides that have kind of won the Premier League. They always have that dogged fighting striker. They've got in Lukaku, but whether it's Diego Costa, whether it was Didier Drogba. They always have options on the wings, whether it's sort of that season where they had Duff, Robben and Joe Cole, wealth of riches there. He's got the same thing now, Tuchel. He's got, whether if he plays 2 out of Pulisic, Ferner, Callum Hudson-Odoi, all these kind of great options that he's got there. And then he's also got Mason Mount, Kante and Jorginho in the middle. So they're looking like such a strong side.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? When you think it's a growing trend that we're seeing. Like, if you want to win the league, you need very, very good sort of depth in your squad. City have that embarrassment of riches, if you like. They have options, different kinds of players for the same position. And, adding Grealish will do that. You look at Chelsea, obviously, as you've said, and Man United also building a bit of that depth now as well. And it kind of, it's worrying, isn't it, really, Mus, especially as an Arsenal fan, to see this sort of... Chelsea looks so strong. Let's see how City get on against Spurs today, but, Chelsea really do look like contenders.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if Man City do get Harry Kane, and it's a big if, I still think Chelsea would be my favourites. Probably even Champions League favourites, to be honest, because I just think they've got the balance better than PSG. You have like maybe bigger names on paper, but even more annoyingly as well, the one thing that we used to be able to say about Chelsea kind of not having any homegrown talents and that somehow reflecting a lack of spirit or soul, they've answered that now. You know, Chalobah coming through, he was probably in the team just because Reece James was unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Mason Mount, you've got Lukaku coming back, you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, and you know they all kind of grew up together, played together. That's like almost like the missing piece.
Yeah,
there's that big gap, you know, after John Terry, where there wasn't this kind of homegrown first team starter. Now they've got a few options.
It's also worth noting that Lukaku wasn't playing yesterday, which means every single one of that team yesterday that Mus is saying are potential favourites for the Champions League are players that Frank Lampard had at his disposal.
Yeah, there you go. Hammering home your point there, Roz, as well. Yeah. Any other word on Chelsea, Roz?
I agree with Mus. It's really nice to see sort of homegrown talent coming through. Mason Mount is an absolute gem of a player. And you can tell when you've got that kind of backbone. I mean, Man United always had it when they were dominating. When you've got that equal kind of distribution between like sort of world-class talent and homegrown players or players that have been there long enough where the club really means something to them, you know, and you just know that Mount, Chalobah, players like that. I mean, I think Chalobah's been there since he was 8 with his brother, who's at Watford now, Nathaniel Chalobah. But yeah, you know, like all these players where, you know, they're Chelsea through and through. And it's nice to see, I think.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little break from the football stuff now. From the results that we've been looking at, because we are going to do some predictions. Now, if you are watching, you need to get in the comments, tell us your predictions as well. These are going to be kind of season-long predictions, and they are going to be designed to make us look a bit silly. We did it for our Euros podcast, and it worked a treat. These ones are a little bit more serious, lads. There's not going to be two like jokey ones. There's not going to be like, we could do like first manager sacked and stuff like that, but it's a bit negative, isn't it? So I've gone for.
You know that it's going to be Arteta. So.
Oh, mate, stop it! Right, if you're watching, get in the comments. Let us know your predictions. Okay, are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
I'm going to get my little spreadsheet up. Okay, here we go. So, I just said Chelsea have got to be his favourites, right, to win the league. So, are you going to go? The first one is who's going to win the Premier League this season?
Yeah, well, if Roz is happy to budge along on the bandwagon, then I'm gonna join him. I'm gonna say Chelsea.
What I was saying earlier about restaurants being discovered by hipsters. It's just.
Are you going Chelsea as well, then, Roz?
I said I was going Chelsea months and months ago.
Months ago, before everyone else found it. You see, that's what hipsters say.
I like Tuchel's earlier work, you know, all this new stuff, a bit too contempt, you know, it's just sort of sold his soul a bit, you know, but his early stuff.
Yeah,
Chelsea,
his early stuff. Yeah, Chelsea. Okay. This is going to come back to bite me probably, but I'm going to have to go with City. Just to offer something a bit different, you know, if you guys vote, if we all go for Chelsea, it's a bit like, in fact, I'd toss a coin on City and Chelsea. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to toss a coin. Okay, you ready? So it's going to be this side for City, this side for Chelsea. Okay.
Okay.
It's this side.
Is that
City? Yeah. Okay. Top scorer.
I'm just gonna go with Salah. I could, you know, I guess Lukaku for the Euros for the Golden Boot. He let me down. I'm gonna go Salah.
Salah. Okay, Salah for the Premier League Golden Boot. Roz, what do you reckon?
Perhaps the guy in the Egypt shirt can help me out. Is it Africa Cup of Nations this January?
Oh yes. Yeah. Well, remember.
Can't change it. Can't change it.
Okay. No, I'm not changing it. But yeah, you're right.
But for those reasons, I was thinking about actually going for Sadio Mane, but I won't. I'm I'm going to say Lukaku. I know it's boring, but if Chelsea win the league, then I fancy him to get 24, 25. I don't think it'll be like a ridiculous figure this year.
I can't believe neither of you have said who I'm going for.
Are you going Harry Kane?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just think that
100%.
this kind of transfer thing will go on. It'll be really interesting to see if he starts today against Man City. But yeah, I think we've got another 2 weeks of probably him potentially not playing for Spurs, getting booed if he does.
Mate,
probably.
He's
Ridiculous.
how often does Harry Kane score in August? Come on, and how many golden boots has he won? Think about it.
Yeah.
He can turn it on and put him with that bunch of City midfielders if he does go to City. Oh my God. I reckon he'll go over 30 this season, Harry Kane. If he goes to City.
He'll only play every other game.
Oh mate, trust me, he will smash it to bits. Right, okay. Player of the season. So you got your top scorer, Mus. You went for Salah. Is he going to be your player of the season as well, or is there someone else?
No, I reckon it'll be a Chelsea player. For consistency's sake, if they win the league. Is this like, are we making a distinction between PFA and player's player, or?
This is it's a good point actually. So let's go with the official PFA. So Ruben Dias, e.g. last year.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll go Lukaku then. Because I think if it's the Football Writers Awards, then it might be Mason Mount, a young English player, held in high regard. But yeah, Lukaku for the official one.
Okay, Roz, what do you reckon?
I'm actually going to go for Bruno Fernandes. I
Thought
think
you
that not just, I would have said that before yesterday, to be fair. But I think with Sancho to help kind of share the load a little bit, I don't think we'll see him kind of burn out in the same way that he did last season. Yeah, I think he'll get pretty high on the goals, the assists, be that kind of talisman for Man United. And I think they'll have good seasons. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes.
Okay, so I mean, usually the player of the season comes from the team that wins the league, doesn't it? So it's a tough one. It's a tough call for me because I've said City are going to win the league, but now I'm thinking, which City player would I put in as my player of the season? And it's a tough call because, like you say, Roz, you never know with Pep Roulette, do you? Like, who's going to play the most games? And then you go, well, Dias and Stones started every game. Dias won it last year. Do I go for Stones?
I mean, Dias had a brilliant season last year, but how the hell can you have a player that finished top of the goal scoring rankings and top of the assist rankings not win player of the season? Harry Kane was robbed, but yeah, Dias is a good shout. He probably will play every game. Well, about 32.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to go for Dias. I reckon he's going to double up. Why not? Just for lols. I'm going to make myself look stupid. Come May, it'll be fine. That's what it's all about. Young player of the year.
So is there actually a thing on this where they have to be under, is it 23? 21? Cut off.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he still qualifies then. Jadon Sancho.
Oh, I knew you were going to say my own.
Oh, so you're both going Sancho?
Yeah, I was literally just Googling it to see how old he is. He's 21.
Why Sancho?
He's a delightful player, isn't he? He's his goals and his assist output in the Bundesliga. He can play anywhere. He's such a big kind of marquee signing for Man United that he'll find a way to fit him in probably on that right. He plays very well on the left and just behind as well. I think he's going to light it up. He really feels like a Man United player. He's one of those where it's just it just seems like a good fit. So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, I am going for a City player again. It's got to be Phil Foden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely. It's, we saw shades of it last season. I think he really can be that player that goes on and becomes quite a solid, an undroppable player, kind of like De Bruyne, and and that's what Pep's been pushing for. And we've seen what he can do. If he replicates that and carries it through the whole season, then Phil Foden's going to pull up trees, mate. Okay. Andrew is in the comments. Andrew, our first comment of the season. Thanks for your contribution. United to win it. Bruno Fernandes top scorer. Pogba player of the season. Think will surprise you all. No, you're not being objective. That's what he says.
He's also put young player Sancho. It's brilliant.
Andrew, are you a United fan by any chance? Bit excited after yesterday. That's how it currently stands, isn't it? Pogba is the assist leader. Bruno is the top goal scorer. So who knows? Could happen. Thanks for your contribution, Andrew. If you've got any predictions for the season, get them in the comments, and we'll crack on with our predictions now. So, what's next? Who's going to be relegated? Oh, I need 3 teams, lads.
Are Arsenal currently in the relegation spot still?
Roz, if you're trying to trigger me, mate, it's not going to work. Okay, I'm too hungover for that.
Standings. Oh no, you're staying up. You're staying up. You're only 17th. It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, that went down well. Mus, who do you reckon is going to be relegated?
So, you sent the BBC predictor thing. So before the start of the season,
Yes.
I had Norwich, Wolves, and Watford. But having seen yesterday's games, I'm gonna. Yeah, I think Wolves and Watford might do better than I expected. So I'm going to go with Norwich, Southampton, and Crystal Palace.
Interesting. Let me write that
That's
in.
unreal. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Really?
Well, I can talk you through it. I mean,
Please do.
I think Crystal Palace, that'll be the one that we'll look at the end of the season, because I think they'll either have an unbelievable season or they'll have an absolutely terrible season and they could finish bottom. It's such a risk losing that many players out of contract, that many experienced players that are out of contract, bringing in a load of sort of young guns from the Championship, etc. And bringing in a manager with no Premier League experience in managing. Obviously, he had a fair bit of playing experience, Patrick Vieira. And then also on top of that, just changing their style, trying to do this sort of, we want to play attractive football. We're a big club, Crystal Palace. Staying up in the Premier League isn't enough for us. We need to play expansive football. It could go horribly, horribly wrong, and I actually think they could finish bottom. I think Vieira actually will be the first manager to go, not Mikel Arteta. Southampton, they've lost Ings. Still on the cards to lose James Ward-Prowse. I think they'll kind of fizzle out a little bit. Lost Brian Bertrand to Leicester as well. Vestergaard also to Leicester.
Yeah. Okay.
And Norwich, good side. They've made some really good signings. Their front three in particular with Cantwell, Pookie, and Rashishka.
Hang on. I've got this. I looked up the pronunciation, and you're meant to roll the R. Okay. And for the C at the end, you say S. So it goes like this: Milot Rashica.
Lovely.
There you go.
Sounds delicious.
It's not the first name you've butchered or I've butchered. It might be the last this season, I'm sure. But really good front line. They've made some good signings. Billy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Oh no, Chelsea. However, I just don't think they'll have enough.
Fair. Okay. Andrew in the comments has gone for Norwich, Palace, and Saints as well. He's going with you guys. He probably wrote it before you guys said it. Then you saw what he said, and then you copied it, right? Because
Chelsea thing all over again. I had this in my head yesterday, and everyone's just
right, lads. Controversial. I've gone slightly different. I've gone Palace, the same as you guys, but I think the bubble's going to burst for Burnley.
Ooh.
I'm really undecided on my last one. I'm somewhere between. I think Norwich will do well. I think Norwich will stay up. I think they looked good against Liverpool yesterday, and they've had the experience of coming up and going back down. They've come up again. You know, I think Farker and co they know what it takes. Now, I feel like Norwich won't go down. I don't know why.
Okay.
Apart from that, and it's between that and Watford. Watford have some good players, but I don't know.
I think Watford will be in the scrap for sure. I don't think Brentford will be anywhere near it. But mainly, I just think that Thomas Frank is a far better manager than Daniel Farker, and Farker just has a bit too much of that, a bit like Arsenal really. That stubbornness of we're going to play this way, and what's the definition of madness or insanity when you just keep trying the same things and get the same results. And I just don't see it with even Pookie. I don't think, he had a very good start when they were last in the Premier League, but I think they're like a West Brom. They're a bit of a yo-yo club, too good for the Championship, not good enough for the top flight.
Interesting. What do you see them sticking with Farker this time around? If it doesn't quite materialise come Christmas, could they bring in a decent managerial signing and then perhaps do well, because the players are there undoubtedly.
Yeah, and you've got some great managers on the market as well, haven't you? You've got Chris Wilder, still out of a job, isn't he? You've got Eddie Howe, still out of a job.
I mean, just those really two good. Off the top of your head, imagine what they could do with that Norwich squad. I honestly, I feel like Farker will go, a new manager will come in, and they'll do wonders with that team. So I'm gonna go with Watford, which seems ridiculous because that goal from Cucho yesterday, Cucho will keep them up on his own. Yeah, I'm gonna go Watford. So my three to be relegated: Palace, Burnley, and Watford.
It'll make for an entertaining cycling GK season, won't it, with Ben Foster's YouTube channel?
Yes, mate.
I'm sure he'll still find a way to be positive, put a positive.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one, lads, is who's going to win our Fantasy Premier League?
Is that an actual?
I'm going to go Roz, because I'm already feeling the pressure of having to chase him down. I'm 4 points behind. Feel like Nicole Appleton between the McKinnon brothers. Andrew's behind me as well. So, yeah, I just think Roz has got the experience, and he'll probably hold on.
You got any players left to play today?
Sorry, say again. Have I got any players?
Have you got any players left to play today? No. Roz, have you?
No. But I think this is a bit of an unfair. Shouldn't we talk? I think let's make it fair. Let's talk about who's going to finish second place. Yeah, that'd be a bit more of a.
The arrogance is unbelievable. I cannot wait to replay this to you at the end of the season. You have to win it now, Roz.
Mate, fine. Class is permanent. Permanent. I'm just going to blitz it. It's all good.
All right, I'm going to go.
By the way, 5.5 is midfielder. I was the only one to actually sort of have that insight to pick him. I don't think anyone else in the league had. Yeah, but second though, I think that's a much more interesting conversation.
I'm going to go with our previous winner and the guy who also won our European fantasy football. It is Mr. Percentage, Dominic A.
Oh no. Nah, mate. I've seen his goalkeeper picks. He picked Ben Foster, who's not Watford's starting goalkeeper. And who else did he go for? I can't even remember.
Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson. He's out with COVID.
Yeah, and he was his vice captain. Yeah, come on, Dom.
He was tricked into the percentages thing, where he didn't realise that half the country just have heard of Ben Foster because he has a YouTube channel and he's been around for a while. So everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Ben Foster." They're researching and realised that actually Dan Barkman is Watford's #1 at the moment.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Apparently, the Twitter account called FPL Fella, and he said if any Premier League footballer retweets this tweet, I'll make them my captain. And unfortunately for him, the only person to retweet was Vincente Guait.
Brilliant.
I love that.
Okay, so that's our predictions. Let me run you through them. Mus, your predictions. Chelsea will win the league. Salah will be top scorer. Lukaku will get player of the season. Sancho, young player. Norwich, Southampton, Palace relegated. And Roz is going to win the fantasy league. Roz, Chelsea are going to win the league. Lukaku, top scorer. Bruno, player of the season. Sancho, young player. Norwich, Southampton, and Palace to go down. And you have voted yourself to win the fantasy league. I have said Man City are going to win. Kane, top scorer. Ruben Dias, player of the season. I'm regretting that one already. Foden, young player. And relegated Palace, Burnley, and Watford. And the FPL winner will be Dom. Quick look at FPL as well. There's someone else we need to call out. You just called out Dom, right, on his percentage teams. Now, I've got to call out William Pointing, who his team name is Show Me the Mane FC. Good classic pun name. I like that one. But Show Me the Mane. I don't know if you need the FC after it anyway. Let me talk you through Show Me the Mane's lineup. Okay, you got Schmeichel in goal, solid. Back four: Ben White, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, and Alexander Arnold. Alexander Arnold, yeah. Ben White, what are you doing?
Ben White got a grand total of 0 goals and 0 assists last season. He's also playing in Arsenal's backline.
Your midfield is Havertz, Smith Rowe, and Mount. Havertz and Mount, good shout, but were they really going to play after that long Euro spell? I mean, obviously Mount did, and he got some points. Smith Rowe is a funny one as well.
Oh, it's cheap. I can see the logic in that one.
Okay.
I think again 5.5, but yeah.
Up front, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, Timo Werner, who he captained as well. So, what do we make of that?
Joe, that's not even the worst part. I mean, big fan of Will, and show me the Mane FC, but in a league of 37, he's coming in currently at joint 19th, and I've just realised he played his bench boost.
Mate, that was my punchline. He's played his bench boost. Will, what are you doing? You've played your bench boost in game 1. That must have been an accident, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because on his bench was Andros Townsend, James Maddison, and Michael Keane, and Martinez in goal.
Keane had a great game yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah. So, Will, explain yourself. Also, Dom, explain yourself. We need some justification. If you want to make a statement, send it over. I'll read it out next week. If you want to come on the pod and tell us what the hell was going through your mind, then please do that.
I think it's a good thing for Will that they don't let you play your wild card in the first week either. Like that you can't actually do that. What's he doing?
Mate, Will, we need to get you on the pod to explain yourself. Please join us.
Yeah.
Okay. While we're on fantasy, let's have a look at the league. Okay, so we have 37 players in the league now. It really is just getting more and more. It keeps growing. It's getting out of control, lads. 37. If you want to join our fantasy league, the code is 912OSM. 912OSM. And tell you what, I'm going to write it in the comments live right now. 912OSM. There we go. It's right there. So if you want to join our league, that's the code. And this is how the league is looking. At the very bottom of the league is Paul Horlock Brown with Big Fudge. Now, this guy was sending me screenshots of his team going, I'm going to smash the EPL Football League. I'm going to smash fantasy football. I was like, nah, mate, no, not with that team. Well, Paul, explain yourself, mate. Okay, and joint 35th, we've got Matt Basley with no response. I'm not sure of that team name. And we've got David French with pending moderation. That's our bottom 3. Remember, lads, this is as it stands. There are still games to play today, obviously, which we've got to get onto. Top 3 as it stands. Number 3 is Mus with inverted pyramid FC. Is that? I guess that's some sort of Egyptian reference. And the formation.
Yeah, and a reference to
triangle. Is that what you're going for the midfield?
Well, you know, Jonathan Wilson's written a book about football tactics called "Inverting the Pyramid." I think.
Ah, right.
Also, kind of trying to be a football hipster by referring to that. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. You got your hipster football shirt. You got your hipster knowledge of tactical book reading. That's some 4-dimensional thinking you got there, mate. In at number 2 is Jamie Dickens. His team's called Sore Loser or Sore Louser, however you want to pronounce that. I'm guessing it's Loser. He's not a very sore loser. Well, he might be because he's second now if he was to tank. he would be upset. And top of the pile, as it stands, Southpaw United. It is, of course, Roz.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, what Mus said. Okay, right, let's get on to the next games we're looking at then. Everton Southampton live. Goodison Park was rocking yesterday. It was absolutely rocking. You could feel it shaking as Everton came back from 1-0 down, hosting Southampton. Armstrong got their goal, and then second half, kind of sort of game of two halves for Everton. It was, Benitez. What did Benitez say at half time? But it worked. Benitez's Everton coming back 3-1. Goals from Richarlison, Doucouré, and Calvert-Lewin. Townsend got an assist as well. Great signing, Andros Townsend. Roz, what did you make of this one, Roz?
Yeah, I mean, Raf Benitez being 1 goal down at half time. Yeah, it's small fry for him, isn't it? He's won the Champions League, being 3 goals down at half time. But yeah, really good quality of goals, good standards. Benitez at Everton's a really interesting one. Obviously a controversial pick being an ex-Liverpool manager, but I think he actually suits the squad a lot better than Ancelotti did. He showed at Newcastle. He's just, and even actually when he won the Champions League at Liverpool, if you look at that starting 11, you have a few very, very good players, but ultimately he's just very good at organising fairly average players. Players like your Mason Holgates, like your Michael Keane, so I really don't rate that highly. But I think what he'll do is he'll just get them very well organised. You've got a bit of talent there with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who got the 3rd goal. Doucouré showing shades of what he was like at Watford, with an absolutely cracking goal for the 2nd. And Richarlison got the 1st, and he's had he's just won the Olympics with Brazil. like such a long summer. I think he was probably in the Copa America before that with the squad for that stuff.
Yeah, gold medal.
Him, and he scored on the opening day. So
gold medal in the Olympics, golden hair to celebrate. Rachel's in the comments. She says UTFT, which I'm led to believe stands for up the effing Toffees. So fair play. There you go.
Flipping, right? Flipping.
Up the flipping Toffees. Yeah, that's what it is. Rach, cheers for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and allow notifications so you never miss a show. Mus, Southampton, you've tipped them to go down. Is that based on their display yesterday?
Well, no. So even before I saw them play yesterday, I was already, kind of concerned.
Hang on, is this the hipster thing again? There before everyone else said it. I went to that restaurant before anyone else had heard of it.
Not quite. I just thought, if you sell all your best players and your top scorer has left, and then your captain is rumored to be on the way out. Ryan Bertrand is like an experienced fullback that Leicester have picked up, and we all know about Leicester's recruitment, and then selling Vestergaard as well. That doesn't quite make sense to me, so I worry about them, and they slumped really badly towards the end of last season. They brought in the reverse Shearer, Armstrong, who's kind of like done Shearer's career backwards.
I like that. That one's got to stick.
I've never thought about that.
That has got to stick. Reverse Shearer.
And I think him and Shay Adams will give them a threat up front, but I just worry about the rest of the team defensively and in the midfield. But they have a decent manager. But yeah, I think that it could kind of collapse in on themselves, and maybe by Christmas, they could be looking for a new hire as head coach.
I mean, you say they sold all their best players, but they still got Bednarek there at the back, haven't they? They've got Walker Peters, he's all right. I'm just having a look. Oriol Romeu, he's been a mainstay there. Of course, you've got Redmond and Walcott. James Ward-Prowse is their best player. They haven't sold him, have they?
Yet.
Not yet.
Villa definitely in for him with a lot of intent there. I mean, you talk about those players. Yeah, they're good players. I think Bednarek was a lot more about that partnership that he had with Vestergaard. I think I said last season that actually, if you look at Kyle Walker-Peters, Vestergaard, Bednarek, and Ryan Bertrand, that's probably player for player a better back four than Leicester had when they won the league. with Fuchs, Morgan, Huth, and Danny Simpson. You know, it's just a very good back four, and they've lost 2 of those. Armstrong's a very good bit of business, but not proven in the Premier League. Beastly finish yesterday, but for me, won't score as many as Danny Ings did. I just don't see it.
Che Adams stepping up to the plate. You know, they've got Michael Obafemi.
Scotland's favourite son, Che Adams.
And also, let's not forget that wealth of experience they've got. Obviously, they've got their Schlong on the bench as well, haven't they?
Yes.
They signed another right back, didn't they? Chelsea, with that kind of conveyor belt of talented youngsters, and I've totally forgotten his name. Maybe someone can help me out. It's like a Brazilian sounding name or something, or is it Italian? It's like,
I don't know. I could have a look for you. Let's have a look. So professional.
Him up, very highly rated.
So professional, Roz.
No, it's Livermento. Livermento. There we go. So obviously he wasn't kind of going to get past Reece James, Aspilicueta in the pecking order, but he's very highly rated at Chelsea, and Southampton done a good bit of business.
Yeah, picked him up for just over 5 million as well, so could be very good business.
It's a good season for Southampton, not losing 9-0 at some point. Is that what they can hope for?
Potentially, maybe they'll...
I rate Hasenhüttl. I think Hasenhüttl is a good manager, but any manager that's lost 9-0 twice, I mean,
yeah, well,
still managed to be highly rated. I mean.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say, well, according to you guys, a good season would be 17th, wouldn't it, in the league?
I think so.
I can't believe you've both gone for Southampton to go down. And Andrew in the comments, what are you thinking? You lot are nuts. Southampton will never go down. Not with Theo there. Not with mighty Theo Walcott.
How old's Theo? 32?
Doesn't matter, Roz. Doesn't matter. Age is a number. Age is a number. Don't worry, you know.
Mate, if he's not good enough for Arsenal.
How old's Lionel Messi, mate? How old's Ronaldo?
I mean, that's like saying, he's no Pele. He's rubbish, like this striker, like Adam Armstrong. He's not Pele, is he? So you can't compare anyone to Messi and Ronaldo. Then.
I think the saying you're looking for is I'm trying to compare apples with oranges.
There we go.
Is that what they say? Something like that. Get in the comments and let us know if you know.
Apples and oranges, mate. I don't know.
I hope they do lose 9-0 this season. They're in becoming the first football club to achieve a emergency services hat-trick.
You can just see Hasenhüttl going in the dressing room after, going 999. Let's stop rubbing it in, boss.
I've also that, wasn't it? I'm sure it was put in between the 2 9-0s. Didn't he win at Anfield? Hasenhüttl, Southampton, like 1-0 at Anfield when Liverpool were on like this massive slump last season. And Hasenhüttl cried on the touchline. It's like
it was at I think it was at St Mary's.
St Mary's was it, and he was just like, "Oh, we've come so far. You know, we lost 9-0, and now we are the champions of England."
Roz,
and then they lost 9-0 up.
Roz, how have you managed?
You've come so far. Oh,
hang on. So, that's funny because you were doing the impression of Ralph Hasenhüttl, but you sounded like Daniel Farker.
No, Daniel Farker's he's like up there.
No, Rob.
Like him, I'd love to see like a debate, like a fuming. Like I really hope that like Brentford, Norwich this season is just like they put like some mics on the touchline because they're like the funniest voices in football.
Do you know what?
Daniel Farker's like, I'm up here and you.
I reckon they should do the the post-match interviews or like and the pre-match press conferences. I think they should do them like UFC or like like or like Question Time. So they've got like they have a host in the middle, say like I don't know, Jeff Shreves, and then like they have the manager and the captain each side. Yeah. And you can just imagine like you can imagine, can't you? Like Daniel Farkas just sitting back there like that with his feet up on the table like Conor McGregor. I gotta punch you.
What I was going to say though about Roz's Hasenhüttl impression is that it sounds very much like the 3 little pigs from Shrek.
Yeah. That's what I was going for.
Uncanny, absolutely uncanny. because that was, of course, who he sounds like. Anyway, look, if you're watching this, please consider subscribing to the channel, allowing notifications so you never miss a live stream. Also, get in the comments, let us know your thoughts and predictions for the upcoming season. And if you've got any feedback or questions, then let's hear it. Mus, you were watching Leicester against Wolves yesterday, a big Midlands derby to kick off the season. 1-0 to Leicester. I mean, they looked solid at the back. Wolves offered quite a bit, to be fair. It mainly through Adama Traore. He just needs to learn how to shoot, it would seem. But that goal, and I'm not talking about, I mean, Vardy's improvised flick, lovely, but Pereira, mate, I know you like a bit of skill, Mus.
Yeah.
Talk us through it.
I love nutmeg. I love a nutmeg, and that skill by Ricardo Pereira was probably better than the goal itself. Absolute filth. He had two men on him. Just does like a little back heel nutmeg, whips it in, and Vardy, to be honest, kind of makes it really by running across Connor Cody and getting that flick. Great finish. Adama Traore, take notes. It was good to see Raul Jimenez back for Wolves.
Yeah.
Hopefully, kind of, he returns back to his former self, really, because it's such a big, like, not just like a footballing injury, but it's such a big life injury, and for a front man that is known for his heading ability, hopefully he can kind of not lose that. I thought Leicester a little bit shaky at the back. I think in the long term they're probably going to miss Wesley Fofana, and while Daniel Amati is kind of filling in all right at the back, he's a little bit, he's not as good with the ball at his feet and playing out from the back. So if they can get that Vestergaard signing done and get Johnny Evans back, hopefully that'll kind of patch things up.
Yeah, Roz, Jamie Vardy, 119 goals now in the Premier League. It would be 150 to get him into the top 10. Can he do it? He's what you might call a wily fox in the box.
Yeah, nice, because Leicester are called the Foxes.
Yeah, that is it. 34 years old. 34 years old. He's got basically, let's say 17 goals last season. He's 34. Has he got 2 more seasons in him as good as last season?
Yeah, he's definitely got one. I think that even though he is very much a player that sort of relies on his pace, and that will inevitably go over the next few years. As Mus kind of said, it was the run. It's his intelligence, his timing, playing off the shoulder, bending his run, and just being in the right place at the right time. I think he's still got plenty to offer. I think that Leicester will have an identical season to the last few.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be up there in the kind of top 4, third maybe at points, but they'll bottle it. That's what Leicester do. But yeah, I fancy Vardy for certainly 20 goals this season. Might start to dip down, but maybe he has 3 and he can kind of get 10 the year after that and 10 the year after that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. Interesting. I'm just looking at it as well. 246 appearances, 119 goals. It's essentially 1 in 2, which is great. It's absolutely amazing for Premier League from someone who came from the lower leagues and worked his way up as well. Just fantastic story.
But someone that has about 5 Red Bulls today as well.
Yeah.
To
that pre-match routine, it'll never get old. Okay, let's move on because we are taking a bit longer than usual. My apologies. Watford Villa, 3-2 to Watford. They were 3-0 up, and mate, that Cucho goal, that Watford third goal was absolutely sick, wasn't it? Roz, you watched, presumably you saw a fair bit of Watford last season, watching a bit of Championship. Do they look to have improved on what they were last season?
I can never really work Watford out, really, and it's because they don't really get enough players out for the players that they bring in. They seem to always have a squad of about 40 players, and you forget that, he's still there, he's still there, he's still there. No, they've got in, what's his name? Brazilian striker. God, this is so professional. George, blah, blah, Perez, stuff like that. They've got a very good team. They were really, obviously, they were good last season to get promoted. They're they're a funny side for me because they change managers. It's like a proper merry-go-round. They change players. It's like a merry-go-round. For me, I think they'll be right down there in the relegation scrap. Like you say, sort of 3-0 up, but got brought back into it. I think Danny Ings' second goal was in the 97th minute or something, but still, I think they'll have a hard season, Watford.
Yeah, and Villa slipping up, Mus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about them. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They had Bertrand Traore starting on the bench, Leon Bailey on the bench, Ollie Watkins out. I think they've got enough there to be able to kind of mitigate Grealish's departure. They just need, I think, Dean Saunders, not Dean Saunders, what's his face?
Dean Smith.
Their manager. Dean Smith just needs to figure out his best starting 11, but they've got so much quality. They'll be comfortably mid-table, I think.
Dean Saunders, by the way, one of the funniest pundits in football. Like, if you haven't already, check him out. Okay, we're gonna sort of squeeze past that one, I'm afraid. Watford and Villa fans.
Yao Pedro. His name's Yao Pedro.
Oh, do you mean
the German player earlier?
Yao?
Bremer. Brehme. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, nice one. I think it's João Pedro.
Jao, mate.
Ja Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay, let's touch on. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, Newcastle West Ham has kicked off. It's 3 minutes in. So far, West Ham have had 90% possession and 2 shots. The lineups are like this: Newcastle, Woodman in goal. Back 5: Murphy, Kraft, Fernandez, Clark, and Ritchie. 3 in the midfield are Hayden, Shelvey, and Almiron, and up top, Wilson and Saint-Maximin. No space for Willock yet. I'm guessing his deal's not over the line just yet. They paraded him before the game. West Ham's formation 4-2-3-1. Fabianski in goal. Soufal, Dawson, Ogbonna, and Cresswell. Rice and Soucek taking up their CDM pairing positions. Bowen, Benrahma, and Fornals behind Michael Antonio. And Areola, the new keeper, is on the bench for West Ham. Okay, yeah, 0-0 as it stands. We'll bring you score update there if anything happens.
Oh, West Ham just crowing.
Right, Roz is keeping us posted, okay? Mus, we'll carry on. We'll talk Norwich-Liverpool, and Roz can watch that game for us, and I will go and check in with him in a minute. Mus, Liverpool looked outstanding, didn't they?
Go. Callum Wilson, genuinely.
Brilliant. No, don't show it. We'll get in trouble. The video will be deleted. Tell us about the goal. Tell us what happened.
So Callum Wilson, he's celebrating. He's still celebrating. All the players are hugging him. I feel a bit like Chris Kamara. I didn't see the goal. Was there a red card? Sorry, I don't know, Jack. No, I saw someone go off. Who knows? It's a celebration. Newcastle fans are happy. Pat St James's Park, and they're showing a replay now. It's the throw in. Oh, that's terrible. It's that Cresswell gives away the ball into the box from Alan Maximan. Oh, he's actually done him like a kipper. All right, so he's just going one way. I think it's Cresswell. Was that Soufal?
Anyway, Roz.
That's Declan Rice. So literally, right? Sorry, I'm going on.
And here comes the explanation of the goal that we've been waiting for.
Declan Rice is trying to block the cross from Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin goes that way, literally about 7 times or something. Eventually gets the ball in, and Callum Wilson is there to head it in. And Declan Rice's career is over.
Yeah, just to anyone in the Newcastle area, if you see Declan Rice wandering around looking for the ball, you just let him know it's back in St James's Park. Right, okay. Mus, Liverpool absolutely on fire yesterday. Jota, Firmino, and Salah. Salah got the 2 assists for the other 2 as well. Brilliant performance. I think Norwich looked good, but Liverpool were just too good for them, weren't they?
Yeah, I think Norwich just ran out of steam. I think they had a really kind of COVID impacted pre-season with 2 of the friendlies cancelled because of players falling sick to COVID, and you could kind of see that, particularly for like the second goal, where the Firmino goal, where they just couldn't get enough people back in time, and they just had a tap in. They're a decent side technically. They brought in Charlie Gilmore from Chelsea.
Billy. Billy Gilmore.
Sorry, Billy Gilmore.
Don't mess up a Scotsman's name.
Wait, sorry, no, I want to do Charlie Gilmore. Okay, anyway.
Mus, well, the names aren't rolling off the tongue today, are they?
I've not had my daily Costa, that's why. I was waiting for after the pod.
Oh, right. That'll be it.
Yeah, Billy Gilmore. So Billy Gilmore, and then the players that we know from their last time in the Premier League, Canwell. But yeah, Liverpool had too much for them.
Just to point out Billy Gilmore, and another point of why I think that Farker being that sort of stubborn manager and not kind of willing to change. What he's done essentially, he had Ollie Skip on loan from Spurs last season, being that kind of pivot role, and he had a fantastic season. Skip went back to Spurs, probably looking for another loan move, I'd imagine, but not to Norwich. They've gotten Billy Gilmore instead. Probably more highly rated, but they're a very similar type of player. They like to hold the ball, a good range of passing. They play well with, they thrive off possession. It's like Farker hasn't realised that, like last season, they dominated the Championship with possession, and they're not going to get that much of the ball in the Premier League, and that's the crux of the matter. They've got in Billy Gilmore, which on paper looks like a fantastic signing.
Yeah.
A very highly rated player, but he plays well in a team that has possession. I just don't see them having much of the ball this season.
The thing is, Roz, you say that, but you say that, but to play against Liverpool and they had 50% of the ball, maybe they are knocking on the door of that possession game.
You and your stats, Joe. You love your numbers, your facts, and your figures. I've had enough of experts, all right? All these bloody experts.
All right. What's that?
Knowing what they're talking about.
What's that new stat? What is it, Mus? You'll know this one. You were telling me about it, I think. Or am I going crazy? Was it a dream? No, it was X. So you got XG, but this is X something else. What was it? I'm sure you told me it was like something they did an article on in The Athletic or something. Maybe you didn't tell me. Maybe it was someone else. Sorry. Apologies. Maybe it was a dream. Who knows? I've been having all sorts of weird dreams. There's been no football on.
Turns out you got more than one football hipster friend. No, it wasn't me. I'm not sure. Could be anything.
So, yeah, just like Shaggy, it wasn't you. Right. Okay, cool. On to then today's games. Now, I'm going to ask you for a prediction for Newcastle West Ham.
I think West Ham will win 1-0. Mate, VAR is taking even longer this season. The goal was about 10 minutes ago, and they're going to blow them in. Oh, hold up. Check. Goal disallowed.
There are some VAR changes this season, actually, which are interesting. The lines are going to be thicker.
Yeah.
There's certain goals that will be, given that weren't given last season, e.g. like the Bamford pointing one about the being offside, but it's kind of his armpit was offside, so that's going to be abolished. Also, you're not going to see like the rocking and rolling of the clips. You're just going to see the finished article like they did at the Euros, and you'll see the justification. So the decision is made quickly, and then you get the finished article, the reason after, which I think is great, right? It's positive.
It's great. Jamie Vardy will be happy with the lines being thicker.
Wow. Okay.
Very good. Very good. I was racking my brains for a cocaine pun, but yeah.
Let's give me a quick prediction for this game.
I think Newcastle will go very quickly, and I think it will finish 1-1.
Okay. Roz.
Based on the fact that I know it's only the opening 10 minutes, but they're all over them. Newcastle really using that kind of full house crowd to their advantage. I'm sure it will be literally rocking, much like Goodison. The way it's going, I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks for your prediction. There's one game we haven't covered from yesterday as well, and that is Burnley against Brighton. A funny one. I remember I saw the halftime score yesterday, and I was like, Burnley going to start the season with a win? Because usually they're disgusting, aren't they? Usually at the start of the season. But Burnley 1-0 up.
There was one where they beat Conte's Chelsea on the first start after they were champions the previous season, and every other start they're abysmal. So it's like they used up all their good fortune with that Chelsea win. Many years ago.
So they go 1-0 up. Tarkowski's goal, in my eyes, shouldn't have stood. He's absolutely wrestled Mopé to the floor. He literally just pushes him to the floor, like as he's running in, and it's that is technically a foul. I don't understand how it stood. It It is a foul, Roz. That is a
That-
foul.
game's gone.
In a football
Game's
match,
gone, mate.
pushing someone to the floor is a foul.
Game's gone. Physical, mate.
Game's gone.
Contact sport. Game's gone. Gone soft, Joe.
And then it's down to the sub. Jakub Morda comes on and changes the game, doesn't he, Mus?
Yeah, it was Mother on the dance floor. But yeah, a couple of subs from.
And he's back in the game.
Yes, mate. Love it.
Match fitness under the belt. Yeah, there was a couple of changes from Graham Potter. Changed the game. I think McAllister coming on and Moda coming on. Yeah, really helped kind of change the game around. Burnley, I think they're just like nailed on for like 17th. I think just the Sean Dyche factor will kind of keep them. Yeah, it will be borderline. I mean, their signings are the most Burnley thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, like Nathan Collins from Stoke City, Wayne Hennessy. It's like you couldn't get more Burnley than that. Brexit FC. But
They've even gone for Hennessy, who had a bit of a race issue before, didn't he? With the you know, they've gone for like proper sort of. Yeah.
He's that.
Yeah.
But, you know, Sean Dyche should be like, it's all right, lads. When it comes to when you're only allowed 2 foreigners in your team, we'll be all right because we had one and now we got Wayne in goal as well.
Literally like in the 70s and 80s where you're only allowed like 2 foreign players or whatever, and even when they have them, they're sort of Scandinavians, like not sort of like cultured, sort of flamboyant European imports. It's always like, Goodmanson, he's a hard working player. He's
Goodmanson looked good yesterday. I'm not going to lie. But Brighton actually, I mean, props to Brighton for coming from 1-0 down and bringing it back. And ultimately, Burnley paid the price, didn't they, Mus?
very good, Joe.
Thank you.
Done. They did. I think Brighton have had a good. They had a good summer. They've held on to Basuma. Probably mugged Arsenal off with the fee they got for Ben White, but otherwise kind of kept Tariq Lamptey, kept Basuma. Mope's like, he's not going to get you more than 10 goals a season, really. But he works hard and he links up well, and he's kind of like well suited to their way of style of play. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think to carry on the sort of trend-setting hipster, I think I'm just going to say again, last season, one of my shouts before they start winning a few more games was that Brighton will actually have a very good season, and they'll finish 10th or 11th. You know, I think they'll be approaching top half. They just need to convert their chances. They did that yesterday. I don't think they'll miss Ben White. They've got centre-halves coming out of their ears. If they could just get a striker, that's the thing. Danny Welbeck's fitness levels aren't great. Mopé, like you say, is probably going to get them 10 goals a season. If they got like a Danny Ings, if that was like their signing, if they reinvested that money from Ben White into just a clinical striker that could actually put them away. You know, if they got like a Ruud van Nistelrooy, if they got like a Pele, if they got Messi, say, I think they'd have a really good chance. But yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to look at how they've reinvested that White money, and they've invested some of it in Enoch Mwepu, Kjell Sherpen, and Karo Mitoma. It's their transfer policy to look further afield, to look at sort of slightly left field signings, a bit like how Leicester did, 5 or 6 years ago when they popped up with Kante and Mahrez, a couple of guys you might have heard of. So it could work out. Maybe it does work out for them. Maybe they've got that player.
50 million on that, they'll have some of that 50 million left over. Aaron Cresswell, no, not Aaron Cresswell, Aaron Connolly. Fancy him to have a good season, another. They invest in youth quite a lot as well, Brighton. Fantastic youth academy.
I just kind of like Brighton as a team as well. Like they seem like a decent bunch of lads. Except Mopé's a bit of a knob, but apart from that, like they're decent bunch. Humble manager. He's unassuming. He's quite nice. Graham Potter.
Ask Guardiola about Graham Potter. I'm not sure.
I'm not
sure he thinks he's that humble. But yeah, First
can you add some context to that, please?
Oh, so that was I think Brighton beat Man City, was it 3-2 towards the end of last season?
Yeah.
And Guardiola took exception to Graham Potter celebrating in his technical area or something like that. And then I think Graham Potter apologised afterwards. But yeah, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's like that kind of thing where if like a twat says that someone's if an arrogant twat says, I think they could be a bit more humble. Like,
yeah,
yellow and black. Like if Pep's saying that, I reckon he probably is quite a nice guy actually.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
See what Pep said today? Was it today or yesterday? Where it was just like, you think we're not doing financial fair play? Prove it. Show it to us. Show it to us that, you know, we're not ruining the game and spending all this money. Like financial fair play, I think it's just turned into. I saw something on TV yesterday. It's a bit like when you meet someone that in the street or something that you haven't seen for ages.
goal.
No,
West Ham.
allowed. Disallowed. The West Ham players look confused. Offside. Yeah, it's a bit like when you sort of meet someone that you don't really want to meet on the street. It's like, oh, I haven't spoken to you in ages. And then you say that you're going to meet up for a coffee. Then it's like an empty threat. It's a bit like that with FIFA and financial fair play. They're like, these things happen and they're like, yeah, financial fair play. Yeah, we're definitely going to look into that.
I mean,
Barcelona, financial fair play. Oh, he's gone to PSG, Messi, who have a worse track record of financial fair play than Barcelona. It's bizarre.
I love that when you say you're going to go for a coffee with someone, you describe it as a threat.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like... No,
we're going for a coffee, all right? We're going for a coffee. No wonder it never happens.
I'm talking about, like, you know, those people that you see...
I know. I get what you were saying. I was just taking the mic.
Your face, it's like, oh, I just about remember your first name. Yeah, we should definitely meet up for a coffee sometime. Have a right good catch up over the last 7 years when I've chosen not to speak to you. Oh, the goal's been given.
The goal has been given. Aaron Cresswell is the scorer.
Yeah. Cresswell, he sort of ball comes across. There's a little flick from I think it was Bowen. Cresswell's on the line to tap it in.
Lovely. Okay, lads. Right, we're going to wrap up now with our last bit of business for this inaugural podcast of the season. It's been a long one, hour and 20 minutes so far. That's as long as some films, and it's about to get longer. So before the credits roll...
You've got like full-on partridge. Full-on partridge. That is longer than some films.
Yeah. What's your favourite Beatles album, Alan? I'd have to say The Best of the Beatles. Right. Okay, I want your predictions for Spurs Man City, please.
Spurs 2-1.
I want it in the traditional... I want it in the tradition... What? You said Spurs 2-1?
I like it.
Right, leave the Zoom. What are you talking about?
Hey, we'll see who we'll be laughing at 6:30 tonight.
Oh, are you going to be laughing when Spurs win, are you? Brilliant.
Well...
Such a gooner, mate. Through and through. I want it in the traditional EPLW format. So I want, a little bit of explanation, a scoreline, goal scorers, and man of the match.
Yeah. So I think Spurs will. Yeah. Either they'll hold City to a draw or a win, but I'm going to go for a win. I think Nuno has a great record relatively against Man City when he was at Wolves. They've had a really good pre-season, the whole Harry Kane stuff aside. They've had Heung-min Son, Dele Alli, Lucas Moura. They've had them throughout the summer pretty much. They haven't gone off to any of the tournaments. And I think City are kind of traditional. Well, not traditionally, but last year they started relatively slowly, and I think they'll miss that focal point up front. So I think there'll be a surprise on the cards.
Okay, so thank you. Who's going to score the goals?
So 2-1. I'm going to say Son and Dele Alli. Højbjerg, man of the match.
Nice. Okay. And who's going to score for City? Is it going to be Jack Grealish?
I don't think so. Only because I don't expect him to start. I'll say maybe Mahrez.
He'll start. Yeah, absolutely, mate. They've got no De Bruyne and no Foden. He's got to start. You've just paid £100 million for the guy. The fans want to see him. Like, get him out there. Roz, what's your prediction, please?
So I'll be sorry about outrageous. I'll go for a 2-2.
Hey, Roz, what are you talking about? It's not called 2-2. This is EPLW.
Desmond, mate. I'll go for a Desmond.
Yeah. That's better.
Sorry, out of practice. I think that people are sort of particularly entertaining stuff that's going on, and also that absolute circus where I think they approached 9 managers and none of them wanted to actually go to Spurs. So it's very much like they settled for Nuno. I think Nuno is actually a very good option. I think he'll fit in well with the squad that Tottenham have. Matt Dougherty, we didn't see the best of him, or haven't seen the best of him in a Spurs shirt whatsoever. The reason Spurs bought him was because he really flourished in the system under Nuno at Wolves. I think actually even if they lose Harry Kane, everyone's saying that they need to reinvest that money in 3 or 4 players. To replace Harry Kane, you need a few. I think that's absolute crap. So what they tried to do with Gareth Bale, I think only one of those actually worked out. Was it? Ericsson was one of them that they got back. But yeah. I think he put all of the 100 or whatever into a kind of top level striker. And then actually they've got a pretty good squad, Spurs. A lot of them used to playing in a back 3. They did it a lot last season. I think if Nuno goes for that kind of tried and tested system that produced the goods at Wolves, I think it's a good fit.
Yeah, brilliant.
City, very slow in the Community Shield. So I would say 2-2.
So a Bishop Desmond goal scorer. Sorry if you said it. I just received a message.
I don't think I did. I'm actually going to go for Dele Alli. I like.
What, all 4 goals?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting one actually, Dele Alli. Been a season on the sidelines. Didn't get on with Mourinho. Got a fresh sort of new lease of life under Nuno. Nuno will be good for him, won't he? You're literally saying Dele Alli will score 2 goals and 2 own goals today?
No, do you want an actual? I thought we were just doing man of the match. Okay, goals. Son and Dele, as he has on the back of his shirt, and City. Oh, it could be anyone in that kind of pep roulette. I'm gonna go for Mahrez and Grealish.
Nice. I would like that very much because they're my fantasy team. And talking of fantasy, with that Cresswell goal, Roz has just been knocked off top spot in the league. Look at his face. By his brother, no less. Brilliant. Okay.
Well, no, not necessarily, because he could score an own goal and then get a red card.
Right. So Roz is going to be a toxic Newcastle fan for the next 2 hours.
Roz, if that happens, your brother will go from Cresswell to Crestfallen.
Love it.
I have won more fantasy league titles than everyone in the league combined. Respect.
Come on, guys. Respect.
Wait.
He has won 2, and all of the other managers put together, I win 3. Respect. Come on, guys. Respect. Come on, guys. Respect.
An early contender for impression of the season so far. Early shout for it. Very good. Is he actually coming back?
Respect, guys. Right, okay. Well done to Andrew, who is now, as it stands, top of the league. But, when Grealish and Mahrez both get a hat-trick later, I'll be top of the league, and you guys will be twiddling your thumbs, or I don't know. What would you be doing? Crying into your spaghetti. That's what you'll be doing. Assuming you're both having spaghetti tonight.
I haven't touched Italian food since. I'm not. Okay, elite shithousery of the season so far has to go. By the way, to Jorginho. You guys see this? If I had to think, most you might have sent it to us, but the it was Declan Rice, was it? Who was saying that if England win the Euros, everyone in the squad.
Phil Foden.
Gonna do the Phil Foden haircut. It didn't quite work out that way. Then Italy won the game. But yeah, Jorginho, first day of training, goes into Chelsea. He has to Phil Foden. If you were Mason Mount, you would 2-foot him, wouldn't you? There are some dodgy tackles flying in.
I think it's happening with every team now. By the end of this season, every team will have someone with that Gaza haircut and someone with really low socks. Also, lowest socks of the season so far goes to go on, Roz. And Waymo.
Yeah. Actually, now you say that, Millwall had a player with Foden yesterday. That might be a shout. Yeah.
Everyone's going to have the. It's not a Foden haircut; it's a Gascoigne haircut, right? It's not the Foden; it's the Gaza. Right?
But Chamberlain almost had it. He had half a Gaza. Chamberlain.
He had a
little dollop of bleach on the top.
Yeah, like a Jerry Gaza, like a little slight curl on it. Yeah. Okay, guys, we've done it. We've got through the first episode. I don't think it was bad. Lads, look, that was great fun. Thank you for providing some expert knowledge. You know, all the stuff you knew straight off the bat. Great news, great stuff.
It was really great fun seeing you. We should definitely go for a coffee sometime.
Mus, mate, thanks for joining. We should definitely go for a coffee sometime. Right, cool, lads. I'm just trying to remember how to stop the stream. Right, see you later. Bye.